South Carolina Congressman Russell Fry joins me now. Congressman, the Israel aid is basically dead on arrival in the Senate. President Biden would veto it. What's the politics of all of this?
Well, I think that what we have to do is get some institutional awareness going on. The American people are kind of tired of busting out the credit card every time that something happens. And so Speaker Johnson and House Republicans took a prudent step. If we're going to do aid across the globe, in this case, one of our strongest allies, Israel, there needs to be cuts elsewhere to rescind some of that. We can't just keep borrowing money and sending it around the globe. It's a reckless policy. So I think getting back to the basics is really important, and I'm glad that House Republicans were able to do that. Well, I don't necessarily know that it's dead, but I think the issue is that House Republicans and the American people expect single subject issue bills, and each of these deserve their own meritorious debate. Don't link them together in one giant package and jam the rest of us. We need to have individual debates on these issues.
But it looks like you've abandoned Ukraine. Speaker Johnson says he'll bring it up shortly, but there's no guarantee it passes the House.
Well, look, again, I don't think that we've abandoned Ukraine. I think each of these deserve their own. The most pressing issue right now is Israel. We have to defend and stand with our strongest ally in the Middle East. They're under immense pressure. And so Speaker Johnson, we take him at his word that the next debate is Ukraine. But I've personally got some concerns about Ukraine. There was a Time magazine article that talked about really the grift that is going on in Ukraine right now. That is of deep concern, and we have not received any clear guidance or objectives from this administration, and I think that's a big problem for a lot of House Republicans.
Congressman, President Biden joked that, quote, he bounced a few checks when he was younger. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer revealed Biden laundered $40,000 from his brother. It had come from Hunter's China business ties. You're on the Oversight Committee. He's making jokes about your investigation. What do you say to that?
I just, nothing surprises me with this president, which is unfortunate. I mean, this is a very serious matter. The House, because of the actions of this family, has launched an impeachment inquiry into the actions of the Biden family and all these transactions. And for the longest time, they've continued to move the goalpost on what we would find out. And lo and behold, the most recent one is you're not going to be able to find direct payments to Joe Biden. Well, we have. And if you look at the timeline of this, it's very suspicious. $400,000 is wired to Hunter Biden. 10% of that, $40,000, ends up in the personal account of Joe Biden. This is incredibly problematic for this president. And when he should be answering truthfully to these inquiries for the American people, he jokes.
But does the public care about this? It's an age-old scandal, if you want to put it like that. Will it count in 2024?
I think it does, and I think not a week goes by that gets better for this president on the facts of the case. I think the American people expect us in Congress to make sure that we hold these officials accountable, and there's a deep concern amongst my constituents about what policy of the United States may have been impacted because of the personal financial benefit of this family. I think that is a deep concern to Americans everywhere.
Indeed. Congressman Russell Fry, thanks for being with us.